بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Welcome to الدرس العاشر, lesson number 10. Inshallah ta'ala, in this lesson we're gonna go into the verbs, but keep in mind that is in accordance to the chapters. However, we already covered these verbs, so you would want to refer to Medina Arabic course Book 2, Lesson 6, Verbs. Verbs. Okay, Medina Arabic course, Book 2, Lesson 6, Verbs. And you'll find 5 videos. Right? Follow the playlist and go through them in order. So the first video is going to talk about the sound verbs, which is what we're covering now, sound verbs. Then you'll see another video about the weak verbs, the third radical being weak, the weak verbs, the second radical being weak, the weak verbs again with the first radical being weak, and then another video on the sound verbs that have double letters at the end, or double lettered. So those 5 videos are important. You need to go through it. To remind you, we took the verbs and we studied it separately before it was introduced in this chapter, because we think the verbs were actually being used a few lessons ago. So we wanted to benefit from those lessons. Nevertheless, inshallah, we'll continue to explain the verbs as it appears in the chapter. So to start with, again, Medina Arabic course, Book 2, Lesson 6, the verbs. 5 videos there. Make sure you cover that. So in this lesson, inshallah, we're going to learn about one specific form of the verbs. So the fi'l, al-fi'l, the verb in the Arabic language, of 3 types of verbs. 3 types. There is the madi, al-madi, which is the past tense verb. Al-madi, the past tense. And we saw this already, like dhahaba, dhahabtu, dhahabta, dhahabti, and so on. There's al-mudari', al-mudari'u, which is the present tense. Okay, the present. And then there's a third type, which is the amr. Al-amru, which is the command form of the verb, the command form. This one we already studied, so we've covered that, alhamdulillah. And now we're going to learn the present tense. We're going to learn about the mudari' in a little more details, and al-amru is going to be studied in lesson 14. Okay, lesson 14 inshallah. So we're going to focus on al-mudari'. This lesson is all about al-mudari'. I'm going to erase this, and this is our focus. So I'm going to use the pointer inshallah ta'ala, and this should help us a little bit. So the verb, it's, as you see, there are 4 boxes, right? First, let's look at the first one. Let's look at the first box, the red box. So the verb is dhahaba yadhhabu, dhahaba yadhhabu, which means to go. So if these are all conjugations of the present tense. And again, remember I told you that we would follow the pattern of ana, anta, anti, huwa, hiya, nahnu, antum, antunna, hum, and hunna. So I'm not going to write out the pronouns again because it takes a lot of time, but you should know it's understood. So adhabu, adhabu. Similarly, I'm not going to write down all of these vowels. Adhabu, I'm not going to write those vowels. The only one I'm writing is the one that will change. So adhabu, that fatha on that ha, right? So we call these letters here, okay? This is the first radical, the second radical, the third radical. Now in the mudari, this is the past tense. In the mudari, we have this is not the first. This is the first radical. This is the second, and this is the third radical. The letter at the beginning here is called حرف المضارع, the letter of the مضارعة, the letter that indicates it is a present tense verb. Okay, there are 4 letters. Okay, there's the ya, okay, there's a hamza, there's a noon, and there's a ta. Okay, we'll see those letters are the ones that comes before the first radical. Okay, so again, let's practice saying it. أذهب, تذهب, تذهبين, يذهب, تذهب, نذهب, تذهبون, تذهبن, يذهبون, يذهبن. If you want more details, again, go back to Medina Arabic course, MAC, book 2, lesson 6, the verbs. I spend more time going through these verbs in that lesson. So what do you want to notice? You want to notice that these all of these, the second radical, which is the ha, is taking a fatha on it. Okay, it's taking a fatha on it. And the beginning letters, even though I didn't really change the color, these are all called the harful mudari'a, the letter that indicates it's mudari'a. See, we're circling them. Noon, ta, ya. Okay. Alif, ta, ya, noon, ta, ya. The ya, the alif, the noon, and the ta. Okay. Now, this is one verb. This is one pattern. This is one pattern basically. So we're going to learn 4 patterns in this lesson. 4 patterns. In terms of the vowel changing on the second radical. Notice the second radical over here. Remember, this is the first radical, second, the third radical. Or we can call it the second root letter. So shariba yashrabu, it means to drink something, right? So yashrabu is the mudari'. So ashrabu, tashrabu, tashrabina, yashrabu, tashrabu, nashrabu, tashrabuna, tashrabna, yashrabuna, yashrabna. Okay, notice what's the difference between this verb and this in terms of the conjugation? The mudari is exactly the same. So why did I make this red and make this blue? Because the maldi is different. This is dhahaba, fatha. This is shariba, fatha, kasra, fatha. Okay, fatha, kasra. This kasra is the change. So we see that there's dhahaba, yadhabu. There are many verbs following this pattern. Okay. Then there's shariba, yashrabu. There are many verbs that follow this pattern. We're going to see a few of them. Alright. There's also jalasa yajlisu, which means to sit. Jalasa yajlisu. Now here we find that now the maldi is fatha, but on the second radical in the mudari we have a kasra. And that's why we made it in the different box. It's in the purple box. So ajlisu, I sit. Tajlisu, you sit. Ajlisu, tajlisu, tajlisina. Yajlisu, tajlisu. Najlisu, tajlisuna. Tajlisna, yajlisuna, yajlisna. Again, if you need to review these verbs, the conjugations, okay, you can go back to lesson 6 in book 2. Alright? And then the fourth pattern that we're going to study in this lesson is sajada yasjudu. Here we find that the second radical of the mudari has a dhamma. See, we colored it in here. That's why we gave it a separate color, separate box. Sajada yasjudu, which means to make prostration or to make sujood. Asjudu, tasjudu, tasjudina, yasjudu, tasjudu, nasjudu, tasjuduna, yasjudna. Sorry, tasjuduna, tasjudna, yasjuduna, yasjudna. Okay, So we have here the ذهب يذهب form. We have the شرب يشرب form, which the only difference is actually the madi, the past tense. The mudari is identically the same, right? They're identical. We have jalasa yajlisu, taking a kasra on the second radical. And we have sajada yasjudu, taking a dhamma on the second radical. Alright? So we have fatha on the second radical, fatha again on the second radical, kasra on the second radical, dhamma on the second radical. Okay, so let's look at some verbs that are like this. So ذهب يذهب, we can say, for instance, the verb فتح يفتح. فتح يفتح. فتح يفتح, which means to open. You conjugate the mudari just like you do with يذهب. أفتح تفتح تفتحين يفتح تفتح نفتح تفتحون تفتحنا يفتحون يفتحنا. Okay. Let me give a couple of more examples like that. So we can also add to it قرأ يقرأ. قرأ, this is our ra. يقرأ, قرأ يقرأ. Alright? Follows the same pattern. And there are many verbs like it. Then we have shariba yashrabu. Shariba yashrabu. So a verb that follows this pattern is alima ya'lamu. Alima ya'lamu, which means to know. Right? Alima ya'lamu. We can also add fahima yafhamu. Okay, fahima yafhamu. Fahima yafhamu. And as well as hafidh, which means to understand. And hafidha, hafidha yahfadhu. Hafidha yahfadhu, which means to memorize. Hafidha yahfadhu. In terms of the pattern of jalasa yajlisu with the kasra on the second radical, we have the verb daraba yadribu. So I'm writing it over here. Daraba yadribu, which means to hit or to beat. Daraba yadribu. Alright? And we also have غسل يغسل. غسل يغسل, which means to wash. غسل يغسل, which means to wash. On the green, with the dhamma on the second radical, sajada yasjudu, we have as well قتل يقتل. يقتل, which means to kill. قتل يقتل. We also have كتب يكتب. يكتب, which means to write. And there are many other examples. So what you need to do, if you're having problems still with these conjugations, you should take these verbs that I gave you and conjugate them and practice them. You should know them very well because we already covered them in lesson 6. Okay? Now, what needs to be understood when it comes to these verbs is that whenever you learn a verb or a verb is given to you, or you find a verb for the first time, it's important that you learn the madi and the mudari. The madi and the mudari. So for instance, if you see a word, if you saw a verb for the first time, now some of you might have seen this verb. Let's say you saw salaka. Salaka, you saw a verb, salaka. Maybe he said salaktu or salaku, right? And the verb actually salaka, it means like to thread a path, to take a path basically. Okay, salaka. And you saw this verb, but you want to know how do I conjugate this verb? Okay, so we know that the Madi is easy. You can say salaktu, salakta, salakti, and so on. But what about the Mudari? The Mudari is very important. How do you know how you conjugate it? The teacher has to tell you what the Mudari is. The teacher has to tell you, or whoever's teaching you has to explain this to you. If you see it in a book and you want to look it up, you have to look in the dictionary now, and the dictionary is going to tell you what the Mudari is going to be. Is it going to be yasluku? Is it going to be yasliku? Is it going to be yasliku, yasluku, yaslaku? Okay, is it going to follow this pattern? Is it going to follow this pattern or this one? Okay. And then when you look it up, or even if the teacher told you, it would be yasluku. Yasluku. Keyword is this, vowel is that dhamma right there. Yasluku. So if someone gives you the verb salaka yasluku, which means to thread a path basically, to take a path, you can now say, alright, salaka yasluku, that's like sajada yasjudu. And you put it in this pattern, in this group, and you know how to conjugate it. Okay? And you do that for every single verb. Now the question may arise now, if you see a verb in this tense, if someone gives you a verb, can you figure out what the mudari is going to be? Like I said, no, you cannot figure it out. You have to be told, because the language is sama'i, meaning that you listen to it and the way it's said, this is the way you're gonna say it, right? You cannot figure it out. So inshallah ta'ala, hopefully this video helped. Like I said earlier, take these verbs, conjugate it, get familiar with it, inshallah ta'ala.